Are expectations healthy? Well, a lot of people might be wondering this and that about expectations. But one thing one has to take into account about expectations is that expectation means you abandon yourself fully. You're not interested in doing anything for your life. And you're just expecting or waiting that some miracle will happen. Someone will actually do something in your place. Right? A lot of miserable people end up in this situation where they lie themselves that they're not worth of anything. It's not worth to do anything in life. It's just good to simply sit and wait for some miracle to happen. It's been going on for thousands of generations, even before Christianity and such. Now, probably the Abrahamic religions gave people one extra reason to simply not do anything. Now, it's not religion's fault, it's how people treat it. Because when you wait for someone to come back, well, you have to be a bit silly to believe that someone dies and they will ever come back. And now if we look at how the world has been, it's definitely not any different from what it was back in those times. So even if that Jesus or any of the religious beings would come back, I assure you you'd kill them just like Jesus has been killed, because people nowadays aren't more enlightened than they were back in the times. Maybe there are way more people who are sensitive in the world, but there's definitely more people who aren't as well. And I think the percentages would be extremely similar in the end. Expectation means you gave up almost entirely on yourself and you have embraced this little game where someone else has to do the things for you. That is why these expectations will always hurt you back. Because, see, no one in this world was tailored specifically for you. See, when you plant the harvest, right, to obtain fruits and such, if you put some of your saliva on the seeds and you plant them in the ground, those fruits will grow also based on the nutrients that your organism was lacking back then in the times when you put those seeds into the ground. This is a service that nature can do to you, but, well, obviously nobody's telling you much about this. And see, nature can adapt itself to your needs. Other people can adapt themselves to your needs. But even if you create the perfect clone, like specifically, deliberately created for all your needs, the question is, do you know your real needs? Or are you just giving in to your natural urges? And when you do that, honestly, those are not your true needs necessarily. So be careful if you'd ever create such a clone, because every action has its reaction. When you have expectations of someone else fixing your problems in your life, well, you're not living a life, you're just living a hell. Because waiting for someone to fix your problems means that you're at their mercy. If they're not willing to do it anymore, well, you're gonna be reminded how useless your whole existence has been. You've not been doing anything to preserve your life, to improve your life, to nourish your life. You've just been sitting there idly, waiting for someone to improve your life or do something that will remind you that you actually exist. Well, only the misery can break you. If misery is strong enough and breaks you, only then will you want to do something better with your life. Other than that, you will just keep waiting and waiting. Haven't you been convinced by your previous generations that they've been waiting and waiting and waiting and always doing the same exact thing, hoping that things will change? Well, that kind of is a reminder of what madness is in the end. But ultimately, no one has been tailored to your needs, and never will nature tailor someone for the needs of someone else. A relationship means compromise. You're gonna have to give up certain things, or at least lower some expectations, or actually give up on most expectations. Because when you don't have too many expectations, you only have a few healthy ones, well, that's another topic to deal with because nobody teaches you what healthy expectations should be. Expectations can be good in a way because they can be a sign of knowing yourself, your own energies, and the such. Because ultimately, you should be looking for people who can also give something back. And there should always be a balance in between how much each and everyone gives. Sometimes one will give more, sometimes one will give less. It all depends. But ultimately, a certain balance needs to be struck, else everyone will feel bad. When you have full expectations of life, it means you simply gave up on yourself. You just want everything put on a plate, but I assure you, even if that happens, you're not going to be happy. Because once you give up your existence, once you say you're worthless, your whole body will resonate with that. Each and every cell of your body will resonate in such a powerful way that you will simply be overwhelmed by depression and by feeling bad and feeling down. So, hopefully, this being said, well, there are a lot of things that a sick society never wants you to know, because a sick society is all about you looking outside of yourself and never inside. Once you learn a few things about yourself, things will become better in a way. You become more knowledgeable of how your body functions, what your needs are. Well, then expectations will change or hopefully will dwindle. Because once you live in a level of ignorance, you're not going to know what healthy expectations will be. So don't dive too much into those at the beginning. Once you know a few things about your boundaries, what pisses you off, and the such, you can start creating a few expectations based on your own limitations. Once you socialize and you know more people and you know some other triggers than your own, well, you can adjust your expectations and whatever. It's gonna be a hell. It's gonna be a hell of a challenge in time. It's gonna be a lengthy lesson to learn, but you will carry it to your karma in other future lifetimes. So if you think this lifetime is shit, at least you can start working on this one so that your future self, or whatever you call it, may actually have a reason to thank the actual self that you are right now. So hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated. Take care, enjoy life, and this being said, Ferencan Power signing out.